An average aircraft would disintegrate doing maneuvers like a barrel roll or cartwheel. But the Sukhoi stunt plane can do that and more. This machine outturns, outpushes, and outworks ocean liners 1,000 times its size. If you've got a big ship that needs parking, then you need a tugboat. Some love the carousel. Others fear it. Maybe for a good reason. Hanging on a single pole, this ride is a 10-ton balancing act. Let's open up these machines and see how they work. Born in the Soviet Union in the 1980s, the Sukhoi Su-26M is still the most sought-after stunt plane in the world. The Tu-6 hits 450 kilometers an hour, does a 360 barrel roll in under 1 second, can hang in place, and takes more G-force than an F-16 fighter. It's built to sail through conditions that no regular plane could survive. Let's see how it works. To get a plane off the ground, you need two things: propulsion and wings. Engines, either jet or propeller, provide the motion which increases airflow over the wings. And the wings provide the lift. The shape of the wings combined with fast-moving air produces downwash and reduced air pressure on the wing's top surface. These aerodynamic forces produce lift. The amount of air diverted depends on the angle of the wing. This is known as the angle of attack. At takeoff, pilots adjust the wings to increase their angle of attack and get the machine airborne. Now that it's up, designers had to figure out how to keep it there while allowing it to perform incredible stunts. There are three basic challenges. First, extreme angles like these will either crash a regular plane or tear off its wings. The shape and construction of the wings is critical to overcoming the violent forces of these transitions. Second, the controls on this plane are surprisingly basic. No electronics, no power assist. Hydraulic systems can fail under extreme loads. So how does a pilot manage without them? And third, all this engineering is meaningless if you can't keep the pilot alive. First challenge, keep the machine in one piece. The key to that begins with the stunt plane's wings. This is the profile of a regular aircraft wing. It's got a curved top and a flat bottom. This shape works great for lift, but good luck trying to fly upside down. If you tried to fly at this angle, you'd be heading in the wrong direction. Stunt plane wings are heavily curved and more or less symmetrical, so lift remains the same upside down or right side up. Another force working against flight is aerodynamic drag. The only way to perform tricks like this is to increase it. Create too much, you stall, and then you drop like a stone. So, stunt planes need low-drag wings, heavy-duty construction, and powerful engines to keep them from shutting down when they're upside down, sideways, and all twisted up. But what keeps it from falling apart? On this machine, the wings are covered in titanium reinforced with Kevlar, almost impossible to bend. These ultra-stiff wings transmit extreme forces onto the plane's spar, the main supporting structure of a wing. It's anchored to the fuselage at the plane's center and evenly spreads out stresses working against the wings. It kind of works like a seesaw. The forces on each side of the spar cancel each other out. All modern planes have spars, and they're all strong. But the 2.6s are made from solid graphite and can withstand forces of over 35 Gs. On to the second challenge, controlling the machine. From down here, airshow stunts may look like they're computer-controlled, but inside the 2.6, there's nothing but a stick and a couple of pedals to control the plane's movement. The stick is connected to elevators. Pull back, and they go up. That forces the tail wing to drop and the plane's nose to rise. This changes the wing's angle of attack, creating more drag and lift. Foot pedals control a rudder that moves from side to side for turning. The stick also connects to ailerons located on the wings. Ailerons help normal aircraft bank. They always move opposite to each other. One goes down, the other goes up. This increases lift on one wing and drops the other, allowing the plane to turn. In the 2.6, a sideways push on the stick engages the ailerons. Not that different from other planes, but they can't take it to these extremes. This machine's wings allow it to take a bank into a barrel roll, and a lift becomes a loop. And there's more. A sharp turn of the rudder with the push on the elevators turns a barrel roll into a crazy tumble. The machine really can do just about anything the pilot dreams up. And what the pilot can physically overcome. There's no power assist in the controls of the 2.6. Its builders didn't trust hydraulics or electronics on extreme moves, so they didn't install any. But they did give pilots a little bit of help with some clever add-ons. At the plane's tail, the front edge of the elevators flare out into these edges called horns. A kind of aerial power steering system. Watch how they help the 2.6 pull out of this dive. When the pilot pulls hard on the stick, it raises the elevators, but that's not enough power. At certain speeds and angles where strength alone would fail, the horns help push the elevators the extra little bit, giving the pilot just enough control to keep the machine airborne. With its wing design, super strong construction, and a couple of engineering tricks, the 2.6 throws the aeronautical rulebook out the window. But there are other physical laws you can't throw out, no matter how special the machine. And that brings up the third challenge, gravity. Moves like these come at a price. The faster you change speed or direction, the more G-force you create. The resistance you feel as your body catches up to the plane is G-force. So, the next design challenge for the 2.6, protect the pilot during intense moves. On steep climbs, blood drains down the body and oxygen to the brain gets cut off. First, you go blind. Then you pass out. When diving, too much blood rushes to the brain. Eyes fill up, and you literally see red. The amount of G-force is directly related to the pilot's alignment with the machine's acceleration. So, the designers angled the 2.6's seat at 35 degrees. By reducing the direct line to G-force, the amount of blood that gets pushed around is reduced. Another line of defense for this nearly indestructible machine. But this Soviet icon also had to overcome some ice-cold problems. Find a proven, high-powered, lightweight engine that won't freeze up in winter, and then figure out how to start that engine on a frigid Siberian morning without a battery. To start with, build up a 360 horsepower radial engine with World War II pedigree that has 9 pistons arranged in a circular pattern. Just like the pistons in your car, these work in 4 strokes. They pull in air and gas with the first stroke, compress it with the second, ignite it with the third, push it out with the fourth. But firing in a circle sequence is trickier than a conventional inline engine. Watch them fire. First, every second piston goes off. The next time, those same pistons are skipped over while they expel the exhaust and suck fuel for their subsequent firing. Fighter pilots love this engine. Even if a piston or two got shot out, you still had enough to get home. Everything on this plane is manually controlled. No hydraulics to leak, no electronics to break down. The air-cooled engine even has a manual thermostat. The pilot opens and closes metal shutters like the aperture of a camera to adjust the engine's temperature. The Soviets had found their perfect engine, tough, dependable, and powerful for its size. Next, the battery, critical for turning over most combustion engines. But they needed to start these things in winter, and new batteries would drain in the cold. So designers came up with a surefire solution: air pressure. This ball contains compressed air that's injected into the cylinders to move the pistons, and that starts the engine. Once it's turned over, fuel smoothly replaces the air. There is a small battery attached to the engine, which showers the combustion chambers with sparks to ignite the air-fuel mixture. Smart, no-frill mechanical ingenuity. And here's another one: visual guides attached to the wings. These help pilots orient the machine flying upside down or coming out of a spin by lining up the guide with the horizon. And the horizon is the only thing that's ever limited this machine. Whether hanging from its propeller helicopter style or taking an earthbound dive, it's all about the performance. As for the airshow smoke, a high-speed pump injects paraffin oil into the hottest part of the exhaust pipe. The oil has a high flash point, so it doesn't go up in flames, but the pipe is hot enough to make it smoke. That may be the flashiest feature in a bare-bones, no-nonsense, unbreakable aerial hot rod that has dominated skies both east and west for over 2 decades.